Hey, Drip, will I remember the buttons?
No. Hell no, you will not.
Let's test it out.
If you do, I quit. I'm leaving.
Thank you to Tomtoc for sponsoring this episode. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Uncle Geeb Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Hoster Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also become a member on this YouTube channel. If you go to our YouTube link that is down below, get extra podcast content every month. Drip, apparently you quit. According to the words that you just said,
I'm done.
You quit. And if you were here for the live stream,
nothing to give you hell for. You hit all the right buttons. What fun is this? Why am I even here?
I even changed the intro and only minorly.
You did. You changed it on the fly too. You scared me. I was like, he's off script. He's off the rails. I don't know what he's gonna do here.
Listen, I've had a couple weeks, more than a couple weeks off, and you know what? I'm coming back refreshed, chill.
Yeah.
I got the buttons down. I got the intro with an adjustment down. I'm gonna alter that as we go along here in our podcast journey, to make it flow, sound a little better. But for now, that's the gist of it.
It's good. It's good.
Get some extra podcast content. This month's podcast content you're gonna get, Drip, is Tears of the Kingdom spoiler episode. Drip and I, Drip, are going to make an extra podcast episode. The Tears of the Kingdom spoiler podcast is upon us this
I'm excited
month.
To finally do that. I'm so excited to finally be able to talk about that.
I can't wait to unload all the
public.
Tears of the Kingdom stuff. I can't wait to just unload on it.
It
might be 3 hours, man. I don't know. This might be... I mean, the game itself, obviously if you played the game or know about the game, it's a 5-hour game.
Yeah.
Or 5 hours. It's a 500-hour game. It's ridiculous. But but as far as how long we got to talk about it for, man, it could be forever. So
it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Gonna be a good one. But yeah, Drip, man, dude, it's been a few weeks.
It has.
And the last time that we talked was in person.
Yeah, you were here. It was awesome. It was so much fun. We had a good time. That episode,
just to let you know that people listening, Drip, that episode has actually come out after this one because of the timing of all this. I got back last night, technically this morning.
Oh, wait, that episode's still not even out?
Well, yeah, because I've been away.
Oh,
it's not for YouTube. It's a stream, right? It's a stream. But it's not as far as the audio people are concerned. They have not heard that one. That was such a good one yet.
We played all the games and stuff.
We did. So we're gonna actually that one's gonna come out. I don't know when. When should I release that? I don't know when I'm gonna release that one. It's gonna come out
midweek.
I'll probably just or this weekend. I don't know, but maybe Monday. Monday sounds like a good day to post that one. I think Monday. But either way, guys, that episode Drip and I did live in person. I mean, it was more of a stream, so it's not really a real episode. But I'll just post it as a bonus episode probably on Monday. And feel free to listen to it. It's on YouTube as well if you want to watch some of it. But the games we played were audio games as well as visual, so you can listen to it and have the same amount of enjoyment as well. So
I think so. Yeah, I think they worked well. I can't wait to start doing them regularly. We're not going to do one tonight.
No,
but after
too much last second planning. We got enough of that.
After tonight,
I just got back a few hours
getting
ago.
things ready. After tonight, we'll start getting those in.
Yeah,
try to do them every single week.
Yeah,
man. Other than that, you went to the beach after that?
I did. I went to the beach for a week. We went to what beach was it? Rehoboth Beach this time.
Yes, that's right by where I used to live. In
unless
you
own a house in Rehoboth, not renting, but you own one or know
it's
someone
like a bougie place,
or
right?
I do not recommend it's not pedestrian or shoebie friendly. It's just not. It's just parking. All the parking is pay parking. Everything is inconvenient for you if you're renting. It's just not a good place to go. The beaches, they're also not to no fault of their own. Rehoboth beaches are in a repair right now because of the bad weather we've had last winter and just a few months ago. Actually, they had some bad weather that tore up a lot of the boardwalk areas and the beaches, got a bunch of debris on it. So to no fault of their own, they're also dealing with that. But yeah, no, I don't recommend that. There's so many good places. Dewey was one of my favorites. We went the first year. Last year was Dewey. In Delaware, they're all the same place, they're all on the same strip. But there's lots of good beaches down there. That one wasn't our favorite. But either way, I had a good time. Let's get to the beer week first. Did you see any
sea life? Did you see any?
Oh, I did.
Animals.
I did. The Friday, the last day at the beach.
It was a shark. Tell me it was a shark.
We weren't even sure if we were going to go in the water. I wanted to go.
A shark.
No. We saw freaking dolphins.
Even better.
Like 30 yards away from us. It was incredible. They were so close. Like,
that's cool.
Like, I saw dolphins the first year and a shark. That was a wild year. We saw both of those. But they were pretty far away, except for the morning dolphins. Those were very close. But we were on the beach, right? We were on the sand enclosed. Yeah. That was just like last morning before we left. This was in the water. We were in the water, like chest deep. And dolphins were like 30 yards away from us. That was like
that's pretty cool.
Incredible. I think Abby was like, she couldn't believe like this is real. Like there's a real wild
dolphins right there.
Like, this is not SeaWorld. You know,
no, they're wild as hell.
I love dolphins. Are my favorite animal. I think dolphins are very becoming my favorite animal. Like they're.
I gotta say, flamingo is definitely my favorite animal.
Oh my god,
100%. Yeah, 100%. There's no question about that. It's
play your laugh track. You joke monger.
That's not a joke. It's serious.
I don't know what that word means. I said that.
Don't laugh.
Hilarious.
It's my favorite animal, and I'm proud of it. Okay,
but guys, I didn't even say this. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Drip. Just live your moment. Guys, we have a lot of big episodes this week. If you notice, and once again, we're doing Switch 2 stuff because there's actual rumors that are somewhat credible, if not actually credible. So we'll get to those in a minute. We have Zelda news. Tears of the Kingdom released how many units they've sold. We'll get to that as well. But before we get to either of those things, Drip, the first thing we got to do is get to that beer of the week. And you, Drip, tell me what your beer is this week.
Mine's nothing special. It's probably exactly what you expect. I am drinking the Busch Light Peach because it tastes like peaches, and there's no more Busch Apple.
Peaches,
so here we are.
We need to get the rights to that song for the beers of the week. Peaches,
that would be, Now next week I'm gonna get something different. I've done this like the last 4 weeks we've been live. I'm not gonna take up any time with it. Y'all know, it's delicious. It's lovely. But I'm guessing by your excitement for beer of the week that you have some special things you got from the beach, don't you?
I do. I'll start with my snacks because those are not real beers. They're just snacks.
Well, we have snack of the week too.
We have snack of the week this week. I had brought some Tasty Cakes.
Tasty Cakes!
I came from the Philly area, stopped at Wawa on the way back, got 3 boxes of 3 different kinds of Tasty Cakes.
I always forget you don't have those out there.
No, we do not. We have the butterscotch crimpets, which are my favorite. We have. These are new to me. These are like butter cake. I forget the name of them are. Like butter something or other. It's white frosting, black cake, very sweet, buttery flavor. Can't wait to try these out. But and then the peanut butter candy cakes, but they're everybody's favorite. These are just like little patties.
I don't think I've had those.
These are everyone's favorite. I mean, even I can't deny how good they are. But these are my favorite. These butterscotch crimpets. And I will wash this butterscotch crimpet down, Drip, with a Wawa half-gallon iced tea. I love this crap, man. Got my Tasty Cake, fresh.
Okay. Alrighty. Oh,
my favorite tea right here. My favorite tea in the world. That's a beer of the week.
Interesting. Very interesting. That's a good one.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Man, you still have 20 seconds left of the music.
I don't need it. I don't need it. We're good.
I gotta let it fade out at this point.
Okay.
Gotta let it fade out. Yeah, I always forget you don't have Tasty Cakes out there. We have those here. It's a thing.
Ooh,
it's good stuff.
The ending to that song is wonderful.
I told you, man. It's like 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Beer of the week. 2 minutes and 14 seconds. All right. So anyway, Geeb.
Oh yeah, post your beers of the week on. I guess it's X, not Twitter.
What do we call it now? Are we not allowed to call it Twitter now?
I refuse to call it X. It is Twitter. Post your stuff
post it on
at DripGeeb on Twitter. You can retweet us as well, and not repost. You can retweet us. If you want your beer of the week submitted on our podcast, go ahead to our Twitter at DripGeeb. Submit your beer of the week for us, and we'll read it on the live stream and the podcast. Drip. Zelda.
Geeb.
Zelda! I need that. That's one we need. We need to make a list of things we need. That's one we need.
That's a good one.
Zelda is big news. It's back in the news, Drip.
Yes.
Forgive me. I'm still sucking Tasty Cake on my mouth.
In a huge way. Nintendo releases their financial reports.
They did
every quarter. Mm-hmm. We got their financial report for the first quarter of the year, and holy shit. Tears of the Kingdom sold 18.51 million copies in what? 2 months? In 2 months.
Yep.
So
8 weeks, 2 months.
It sold 10 million in the first, what was it, 3 days?
The first 3 days.
The first 3 days it sold 10 million copies. Here we are. It's now number 9 on the top 10 best-selling Switch games of all of the 7 years of the Switch's life. We're saying not just in a year. Mm-hmm. It's already in the top 10 at almost 20 million units.
That's insane.
It's 18.5 million. It's very crazy because if you look, what does Breath of the Wild have? 30 million?
Just over 30 million.
And that was a launch title.
That came out the day.
That came out the day the Switch came out, and it's got 30 million. I mean, and that's
Drip,
a great
that's
game.
not counting the Wii U sales of the game. So if you give the Wii U,
that does count. That does count. The 30 is the Wii U.
You ruined my joke. I was gonna be like, if you can tack on a few hundred copies right onto there. That really makes.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going there.
That may really
Ouch.
push. That really may push a difference there.
Sick burn on the Wii U. Ow. Okay, so that's amazing. I believe you and I both talked about this whenever we first heard the news that it sold 10 million in 3 days or whatever. I think one of the things I said was, the next time we hear about this, it's going to be at 20 million. It's going to be it's not at 20 million, but it's
surprisingly
damn close.
not. It's damn close, but surprisingly not. I'm actually a little surprised it didn't get all the way there, but considering the short time span, I'm really just being unrealistic at that point. I mean, 18.5 million in 8 weeks.
Yeah,
that's
can you pull up the PDF there?
I can pull up this
YouTube.
PDF. I sure can.
Take me to page. What page do I want?
Just start talking. You want
page
10.
12.
12, yeah.
We'll go to 10. 10's good.
Just do your thing. You can just do it seamlessly.
Yeah, that's basically what we were talking about already. Page 10. 18.5 million. I mean, so Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has what? It's sitting at 60 million now, somewhere around there, a little less. 55 million. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Either way, that's a lot. That's also very crazy, and I want to touch on that before we keep moving on here. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, a Wii U game that was re-released on the Switch, the best-selling Switch game.
Yep.
In a month where there's obviously better games to get, in a quarter where there's better games to get, and you think just about everyone has it, still sells 1.6 million copies.
That's stupid. That's the second selling highest game.
Like, that's
it's stupid.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
craziness.
also it's also because Drip. It's also because there isn't a ton of games happening right now in the in the world right now. I mean, we've got some stuff on the horizon, but right this moment, it's still Tears of the Kingdom. And,
it is.
And what other than Tears of the Kingdom, forget Tears of the Kingdom? What's the best selling Nintendo Switch game? Mario Kart 8.
Right? Mario Kart 8. Yeah, by a mile. Yeah.
So it's not surprising that second place because
what's the next one under that? Is it?
I don't have the list, but
Animal Crossing,
sure.
Or is that
probably
third? I don't know.
Animal Crossing's in there. Odyssey's in there somewhere, down farther. But yeah, no, it's not surprising to see it up there. It's just surprising to see it's still up there. Like it's still up there. Like
and it's taken a full on, like, you're not touching me lead. Nothing's gonna touch that.
No,
not even this. If you go down to the page 12, let me. Sure. I want to look at something there. This is actually really interesting too. So there's a bar here at the very end of page 12. It says over 15.7 million units sold in 8 weeks. So 18.5 is the number, but I'm guessing the 15.7 was what it actually sold once it was released, and the rest were pre-orders? Is that,
I guess so,
what I can assume there? Because I don't know. I don't know why these numbers are different. But the crazy part is, if you look here, the top part is Tears of the Kingdom, the green part, and the red part is everything else. So Tears of the Kingdom,
it's 50-50.
in just these couple months, sold the same amount or more as everything else that Nintendo has to offer. It's insane.
That is insane.
Absolutely insane, dude. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. We knew. Once we saw that 10 million, I think we knew. Like, this is going to be something crazy. There's a few other things I did want to touch on if you want to go down to page 15.
Sure thing.
We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but it is interesting. 168.1 million viewers saw the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That is Tears of the Kingdom
numbers made
are
$1.4 billion.
Tears of the Kingdom those numbers are incredible.
Yeah,
and they're going to be one of the best games to ever come out for Nintendo in terms of like flash sales.
Yeah,
and long term, we're not there yet, but the long term last of this game is gonna be there too. Tears of the Kingdom will sell well going forward too. But
it will, especially with DLC. I want to get into that, but yeah, go ahead.
But this movie, not to overshadow the game in its own realm, this movie at the same time here, right, similar time frame, just a couple months before, right? Or just the month before. Absolutely,
it was the month before.
Absolutely insane.
When did it come out? May 5th? Is that
something like that, or is it April? I don't know.
Oh, it's April.
It was April 5th or something. Who knows?
Is it? Yeah.
The exact date doesn't matter. It came out. It did its thing. Insanity that this movie is doing what it's doing. It's not like one of the best movies of all time or anything like that. But it's
good though. It was
numbers or quality. It's good on both fronts. But Nintendo, we're talking about Nintendo here, not about the movie necessarily, not about Tears of the Kingdom, but Nintendo is just killing it right now. Whatever they're doing is just killing it. Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, they got it, man. They got
the movie. Wonder's gonna sell crazy. RPG's gonna sell crazy. Nintendo can do no wrong right now, which is absolute. I keep saying it. It's absolute insanity. It is. And I want to say this, Drip. I just rewatched the movie the other day, the Mario's Bro movie.
Yeah.
With my nephew. He wanted to watch it. He actually was narrating the movie for like the first 10 minutes. It was adorable. He's like telling us all about it. And then he fell dead asleep, like snoring. And he was in between Abby and I on the couch and just snored and died. It was hilarious and adorable. But then we watched the movie ourselves, while he was sleeping. And as I was watching it again, I'm like, I think it takes 2 times. I think this movie takes 2 times to really kind of grasp what's going on in the movie.
Yeah,
this is a better movie than my first initial impressions. I know we talked about this on the podcast prior.
I saw it twice in the theater, and we bought it too. So I've seen it. I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Like the whole thing about it, how it didn't have a plot point or the story wasn't good, literally doesn't matter anymore. The second time I've seen it confirms that it doesn't matter anymore. It's such a good movie. It's a great kids movie.
Yeah, it is,
and it's a very good movie overall. I'm very well. It deserves a success. It's a good job. I hope they make more, which we know they will.
They are. Yeah, they will. We're gonna get a Zelda movie. Let me ask you this: back to Tears of the Kingdom, and we can wrap this up and go on to the Switch 2 stuff. I got a question for you. I want to know your opinion on this. Now, this is going to kind of lead into what we're talking about with the Switch 2 stuff, because it sounds like we're not going to be getting a Switch 2 until probably Christmas next year. Holiday season next year sounds like a reasonable time at this point from what we're hearing when we're going to get this. So my question to you is this. Does Tears of the Kingdom, in that time period, now what are we in? We're in August right now of 2023. Let's say the Switch 2 comes out in, let's say, 14 months from now, okay?
Okay.
And in that time, we get DLC for Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess that would probably be it. Do you think that Tears of the Kingdom will outsell? Will it get another 10 million copies and outsell Breath of the Wild?
I'm sorry, what's the time frame again?
Let's just say about 14 months. I'm talking like from now until the Switch 2 comes out. Do you think it will get another 10 million copies?
I'm not just. I know where you stand on this. You've said it a few different times. Knowing the number we know now, we're at 18 and a half in the time frame that we've had. I'm actually going to say no. And not like in a negative way, like, oh, there's no way. It's too big of a gap. I think it is sort of too big of a gap. I think it's too big of a gap, but there's just not enough time. Like, Breath of the Wild had 6.5 years to simmer. And don't forget, Breath of the Wild sales are going to continue to go up too. Not by significant margins, but it will. That game will go up over time. The same amount of time that we have here with, in 14 months or so, it will go up to maybe another million or two. Tears of the Kingdom, maybe. I said maybe. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But as far as Tears of the Kingdom, it's going to be damn close. I would not be surprised. I think it's going to be I would not be surprised if it's within $5 million. Like the difference, either up or down, right? Give or take, whichever game, $5 million. It could be just that close, maybe even $3 or $2 million. It could be really, really close. But
yeah,
I think it's going to be really, really close in the downward direction. I think Tears of the Kingdom might squeak out. I'm going to say this number. I don't know if it's going to be right. I'm going to say it's going to be around 27 million. 27 million might be the max. I don't think it can do over 10 million copies in another year plus. Assuming the Switch 2 is coming out when we think it's coming out in the end of 2024.
Yeah, it's all based on that.
If we're talking 2 more years or so, maybe even more, then no doubt I think it'll pass it. But it's just not enough time for me. Another 14 months. Okay, I don't think it's enough time to get over past Breath of the Wild.
Here's why I think it will.
Well, actually, hold on. But don't forget this. Switch 2 will have Tears of the Kingdom. Those sales should
but that
count.
Yeah, we're not counting that.
Well, I think it's going to be part of the family. You're right.
Okay, well, I mean,
it will count.
In this conversation, I'm talking about before that happens. I think it can, and here's the reason why. One, kind of like what you said, nobody's going to buy Breath of the Wild now. I mean, maybe, but probably not. Think about it. Right now, as of right now, and this could change, but as of right now, Breath of the Wild still costs $60. It's a $60 game, or you could just get the better version of the game with more stuff for what? It's $10 more, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really I don't know, man. I think it's I just don't see people buying Breath of the Wild anymore. So I don't feel like those numbers are going to keep rising as much as they were because there's another option.
Listen, I know why you're saying what you're saying. I don't think you're quite...
Plus DLC.
I don't think you're quite grasping, like, the gravity of Breath. I think you're underselling it. Because I think in your mind, you've already completely replaced Breath of the Wild with Tears of the Kingdom, which is fair.
Yeah, I have.
But for a lot of people, especially those who are just getting Tears of the Kingdom, which you and I have talked about, most of these numbers are new people. A lot of these numbers are new people. Probably
the original...
just about half of those, half that 18 million, I would say a good 7 million, 8 million are brand new Zelda fans. Just like Breath of the Wild brought in new fans, and this game's bringing new fans too. That also means, Drip, that they have not purchased Breath of the Wild. And if they're and I don't think they're going, oh well, this one's better, we're not going to buy that. I think a lot of them are going to have. I'm thinking better of the fans out there. I'm thinking that they have good taste, and they're
I'm thinking they don't have an extra $60 to buy a game that's on the same map, only this one's better, and it's got 3 maps instead of 1 map.
It's a fair point. I'm not saying
I'm not
saying I'm 100%
you're right
there.
There's going to be people who buy both. I just saw in the chat you could just get vouchers and get both for $100.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Get them both for 50.
That's probably that's Tears of the Kingdom for 70, and then Breath of the Wild for 30, and that's a sell. You've sold me there for like new people.
Yeah. Or $50 for each, $100 for the pair. I mean, that's the way to do it. But
Breath of the Wild for me still has not been. And we'll get to that in our review, but I'll give a little taste of our review. All right, here's a little taste of it. There are undoubtedly performance issues in Tears of the Kingdom, which do not exist. Which do not exist in Breath of the Wild. There are issues in Breath of the Wild. Do not mistake in my words. There are issues, but if you've played both games, you know. Tears of the Kingdom has way, way more issues, and they're bigger issues because, and they're explainable.
Issues, though.
They're explainable because the game is so much bigger. Map-wise, there's so much more going on. They just basically added stuff on top of the fact of that Breath of the Wild already did. They added on top. It's just there's more stuff in the game. So I get why frame rates drop when you're doing certain things, but it happens a lot. Breath of the Wild, go back and play that. You're locked at 30 for a large margin of the game. There's probably like 12% of the game where it's like
it didn't start like that though.
No, it didn't
start like that.
And there's time for Tears of the Kingdom. I acknowledge it, but we can only talk about where we're at currently. Where we're at currently is that. So don't forget about that. It's not like Tears. I don't think Tears of the Kingdom.
I don't know. Christmas time next year.
Wiping away Breath of the Wild.
Christmas time next year. Tears of the Kingdom's gonna sell whatever 10 million more copies, and you're gonna owe me $1,000.
Well, you've already quit the podcast. Do you forget already? You quit.
Oh yeah, I quit.
Because
Okay, well, it's fine.
I got the intro perfect. You got all the buttons pressed perfect.
It's still gonna happen. You owe me $1,000. It's a good bet. I'm glad we made it.
No.
$1,000. Guys, remember that. Don't let him forget.
Anyway, Drip. It's that time. Speaking of Zelda, we want to thank the sponsor of this episode, Tomtoc. Tomtoc. And their new FancyCase series, you can see it on screen right here, or if not, you can go ahead and check out the links down below. It features special joystick protection. It has overall military level protection, YKK zippers, and it's water repellent on the outside. If you got little spills and stuff, kids and whatnot, want to keep that Switch away from the water. This Zelda-inspired design fits with my Zelda gear. I got the Zelda, the Collector's Edition. I got the new guidebook, which is up there on my shelf there. Drip, I can't wait to check that out. Use that to play my Zelda with. I got a bunch of the new re-released amiibos out there. We got the Zelda Switch itself. I am a nerd, big nerd, love the Zelda stuff. But like I said, it fits my gear, fits my life. I love this case, using it and everything. Mrs. Jeeb actually uses this mostly.
It's great
because she's got the Zelda Switch. Drip, I know that you can speak on Tomtoc's behalf. You've been using their stuff for a long time.
Yes, I've been using their stuff for 4 or 5 years now. It's literally all I use at this point. I have it for my Steam Deck. I have it for my Switch. I have Tomtoc backpacks. My iPad is in a Tomtoc case. And, Jeeb, not only do I put my Switch in this case right here, they just announced today that there's a new version of one of their Switch cases coming out with this same Tears of the Kingdom look. It's their over-the-shoulder bag, which is fantastic. I have one of those in the black. It is absolutely fantastic. Everything they make is fantastic, man. Everything from the material to the zippers, they're great. If you haven't, check out their website. Check out the new Switch case they just put out today. I think they put some stuff out on Twitter about it, but it's beautiful.
Yes,
all this stuff's great.
I saw that case. It looks spectacular.
Yeah.
You can, if you want your Tomtoc case, again, you can go to the links down below. Get the FancyCase series for the Nintendo Switch. The U.S. affiliate, our U.S. link is down below, as well as the U.K. link. Make sure to register your gear, guys. Go to the link down in the description. If you get your Tomtoc gear, you want to make sure that you register it. If anything happens to it under their guidelines, you're going to be covered from their warranty. So make sure to go to tomtoc.com/pages/register-bag. Thank you, Tomtoc, for sponsoring today's episode. Drip.
Yes.
I wonder if the Switch 2 is going to fit in our Tomtoc slim cases.
Well, Jeeb, I can tell you right now, I don't think it's going to, because it sounds like it's going to be a big boy.
It does sound like that.
Sounds like we're getting another inch on the screen. Now, we don't know for sure.
8 inches, right?
An 8-inch screen is what it sounds like. Now, we don't know for sure, and we're going to get into all this. There's a lot of stuff. Jeeb, you've been gone.
I have. Since you've been gone.
Since you've been gone, there's been a lot of stuff happen. One, we have a VGC article here that is very, very interesting. Basically saying that Nintendo's next-gen plans are in the works. People have got dev kits. There's all kinds of information here. So we can start with, let's see. We'll start with...
Source, Nintendo targets 2024 with next-gen console.
Yeah, that's what it says. Okay, so we had the OLED, right? We had the OLED. I love the OLED.
I love it too.
It's a 7-inch OLED screen.
Almost as much as I love Tasty Cakes, Drip. Almost as much as I love Tasty Cakes.
Well, that's the thing about this one, Jeeb. It sounds like we're going to be going back down. Now, this... You can take this for what you want to take it for. This, obviously this is not confirmed by Nintendo, but I mean, this is the real deal shit. Eurogamer backs all this right here. I mean, people are coming out saying, yes, that's exactly what we've heard too. So, I mean, it's interesting stuff. So it's not going to be an OLED screen. It's going to be an LCD screen, which...
I want to stop you there, Drip. How do you feel about that?
I was about to say, I'm not that worried about it. I mean, I feel like they understand. Okay, here's where I'm at with this. I feel like they understand what they've done with the OLED screen. And they're not going to take a gigantic step backwards visually with an LCD panel if it's going to be shit. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but from what I would imagine, they've looked at whatever these panels are, and they're like, yeah, this is comparable to the OLED screen that we were using, and this is affordable. We can do this. We can make the screen bigger. If it looks good, it looks good, man. I don't care what it is. Yes, the OLED screen looks amazing, and you're not going to be able to get that contrast. You're not going to be able to do that with an LCD screen. Most. I mean, you are going to have a very expensive.
You're not going to be able to do it with the inexpensive ones, which is the whole point of it being LCD, is to save costs. So therefore, there's no way that it's going to be the same kind of picture. Is it acceptable is the question.
Well, okay, but is the cost of the OLED screen that's 8 inches? I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I feel like there's a middle ground there where it's like, yeah, these are cheaper, but they are higher end than what we had. I don't know. You know what I mean? I feel like there's some middle ground there where they're like, okay, this is good. Watch that mic. I saw that.
Yeah. Sorry.
I feel like maybe they found a middle ground. Like, I don't think they're going to go backwards. Do you think they're going to go backwards?
To me, it's not about if I think they're going to go backwards. I just think that the direction they're going, if this is true, if it's true that we're going to see, and we're assuming this is the only model. This is assuming that there's not multiple tiers here. Like
I don't think
sizes.
there will be.
But here, assuming that it's one Switch that is an 8-inch screen that is an LCD to save on costs, assuming all that's a big assumption, but I think it's the wrong direction, and let me tell you why. Listen, unless your eyes are broke, okay, and I have bad eyesight, okay. These glasses are old. I need a new prescription. I have it, but I can't afford the glasses, so I'm using the old prescription. If your eyes are old and bad, or not even old, just bad, if you got bad eyesight, that's your problem, okay? 7 inches, the one on the OLED screen is the perfect handheld size. It is nor too big nor too small. It is the sweet spot for handheld gaming.
It's good. Have you played a Steam Deck?
Too big for me. Because the screen, it's not about the screen. It's about how big the device gets because of the screen. The Switch is still able. I wish I had my tablet with me. The Switch's tablet is so tiny. I do have it. It's right here. I'm an idiot. The Switch's tablet is so tiny. I mean, like in comparison to a Steam Deck and a phone, it's in the middle of those two. It's bigger than a phone, but definitely smaller than a Steam Deck and other comparable devices. This is literally this is pocketable. Okay, this is literally pocketable.
Yeah, if you wear Jinko jeans.
Yeah, if you wear girl jeans like you do, then no. Sorry, all the women out there who have to wear girl jeans. Again, sorry, but you get a purse for that. Anyway.
Yo, listen.
Let me just make my point, okay? Let me. Then you can defend yourself later.
I'm not even going to defend myself. It's fine. Keep going.
The Switch tablet. This is the perfect mobile size. You're reading the Don't read that, Drip. Don't read the comments. I mean, I don't even have it pulled up. Don't even have it pulled up. This is the perfect size. To make this bigger is stupid. It's just stupid. There's no need. Get a laptop. If you want bigger gaming, go to get a gaming laptop. Okay, don't make my Switch bigger because you are a dummy.
It's gonna be bigger.
Don't make it. There's no need. This is big and this is way more than enough. Way more than enough. But
okay, well, let me
I'm already forgetting my other I here, Drip. Well, I guess what I'm also trying to say here is because you distracted me.
The LCD. The LCD is what we're talking about.
All right, the LCD. Listen, to go bigger for the sake of going bigger and regressing on the screen tech is a bad move. It's straight up a bad move. This is not small. This is 7 inches is not small, but to go even bigger for no reason at all, because you're not saving costs, because that's the whole point of going bigger, is because the screen tech's less. So you're like taking away from the quality and adding to the size. Nobody's asking for that. Nobody's like, oh man, the Switch OLED screen is small. No one's saying that. That's ridiculous. But you know what they are saying, Drip? They're saying how good the quality is. And you're going to take that away and then give big screen back. That's stupid.
Well, I'll tell you this.
I'm not mad at anybody yet. But if it does happen, I'm mad.
Well, I mean, the Steam Deck doesn't have an OLED screen. It looks good. Like, I don't know what they use in there, but it looks great. And they just did an update. This is almost, God, this had to be like 6 months ago, but they just did an update to like the way that the screen looks, like the way games look, like the saturation and stuff. Like, you can make it look better. They could make it look really good. It looks awesome. And I did see this in the chat, and I do want to talk about that too. That is an interesting point. Going back to that type of screen might save on battery life too. That could be a thing because we're talking about probably more power. Yeah, you're not, I mean, an OLED screen is going to take more battery life. Yes. You were the one worried about the OLED and the battery in the first place, weren't you?
Nope.
You weren't?
OLED tech saves on battery.
Saves on battery.
Pixels.
Well, pixels turn off.
Take power. Take power. You are turning off pixels for dark colors.
Okay,
you save power when for dark games. I think you actually do lose a little bit of battery for very bright, colorful games on OLED.
I don't know, man.
I'm
gonna have to.
It's not. There's not a big difference in saving a battery or losing battery.
Well, clearly there's not a huge difference because we have what? What's the difference in battery life in the OLED and the other one? Not a lot. But that could be some, I mean, there's got to be a reason. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. There's something that they've gone back for. It could be battery. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe it's cost cutting to try to, do whatever they got to do to get this thing in the price range for us to be able to afford it. Because it's probably not going to be $350. Can you agree with me on that?
If
$400 at least.
That's another episode to really dissect.
We've only gone over like the first thing here too. There's so much more. Okay, so the screen size is the one thing. We're gonna get into that because the screen size is not coming from this article. Just to make that clear, that's something we're gonna talk about in a minute. Now, where's it at?
Professional drips.
Yeah, sorry, I lost all my stuff here. Okay, so they say it's going to come out. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, coming out maybe the first part of next year. But this is saying we will be looking at something like the second half of next year. So not.
That's more accurate.
I think it feels
right. More accurate.
Just the way things happen now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. The way things happen now, everybody wants to put their stuff out around holiday because that's the money. That's where the money's at, obviously, and that makes sense. Like, there's no reason why they wouldn't do that. We could see something in the summer, second half. I mean, it's possible, but I think at this point, I think I said that in my video today. Like, it's possible, but at this point, that feels very strange.
Whether it comes out in like August or if it comes out in November. Those are it's still prime time holiday sales. So yeah, either way, you're looking good there. And it would be weird. Honestly, it would be weird to me if this Switch comes out. I'm looking at a calendar, so I don't sound like an idiot. If it came out in like April or May,
that would be very weird.
That would be weird. I feel like that'd be, and that's like Q. What's Q1?
Yeah, well, I mean, even April, July,
that's Q1, right? So if it came out in April of 2024, that'd be weird. I think it makes more sense.
Well, that's not even the second half. Second half would be what? I guess that would start July or August?
May, June, whatever. Whatever.
July right?
is the second half. July is the second half, yeah.
Okay, so even July kind of seems weird.
August.
Yeah.
It's either coming out like in August or it's coming out in like November. That's more. If it came out any earlier than that, it'd be kind of weird, I think.
It would. And yes, the Switch in March was a weird thing too, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like
that was a whole different ball game.
It was a whole different. They just need to get,
look into the history of what happened.
They talked about it. They talked about it before Christmas because they didn't give a fuck about their holiday sales because they didn't have any holiday sales anyway.
They were just happy if people got excited for it, not necessarily like
let's just let's just get this thing out here. Okay. So the other thing is that these dev kits that have been sent out, they do have a cartridge slot. Now that is, that's not like an unexpected thing to me. I think you also don't think that's a very unexpected thing. That stuff's all good. There's a few other things in here. I mean, that's kind of the big stuff. I mean, this right here though, coming from where it's coming from. This is the biggest one we've got so far. This is the biggest, like, holy shit, this is probably real Switch 2 stuff. And this is the first one. We're going to be hearing more about stuff like this as these game conference things happen and people get together in the same room with each other and people can start talking and doing stuff, this is when we're going to start really hearing stuff. Now, after this was early in the week, Geeb, when you were just sitting on the beach when all this was happening. And I was not. I was down here in the trenches, okay? Taking bullets, Geeb.
Yep.
Yes.
You know, it's funny when we talked about when we made our secret episode that released, and we were talking about like, I'm probably on the beach right now listening to this episode. I said those words.
You literally were.
Well, no. Do you want to know where I was when I heard that part? I re-listened to that episode. Do you know where I was?
Where?
I was on the toilet, and I just laughed.
I'm
on the toilet when I said I'd be on the beach. I was actually on the toilet.
On the beach. That would have been so cool if you were on the beach. The toilet is so disappointing. I have to be honest.
But it's funny. But that was funny.
It's funny.
It was funny to me in the moment. I don't know. I just want to share. Anyway, continue.
No, it's funny. It's very funny. Okay, so the next thing that happened was Nate the Hate. Nate Drake has a podcast. Nate the Hate. Mm-hmm. He knows some stuff. He's said some things before that have been right. Got a pretty good track record. He has a bunch of stuff that he said, and this is the juicy stuff. This is not confirmed. Nobody else is saying that this is confirmed, but this stuff here is the stuff that I'm very interested in this. Okay, so what do we got here? Late 2024. We already knew that. September. Early October is what he is saying he has heard. What else we got? Multiple developers saying they know about dev kits. So we already know about that. Now, this is interesting, too. That the Switch 2 is going to launch with a 3D Mario. Like an Odyssey 2 or a brand new thing. Which isn't crazy. That's not a crazy thing to say. I mean, I feel like we're way due. Because think about it. Odyssey was the same year as Breath of the Wild. And we've already got a new Zelda, but we have not got a new 3D Mario. So, I mean, next year, I feel like give Zelda this year. Mario gets next holiday. That makes sense, right?
I agree.
So that's not crazy. What do you think? Is it Odyssey 2?
Yes.
Or is it a completely different thing?
Oh, I see. I'm going to say it's a different thing because that's what they do with those games.
Maybe. Well, you're right. But, okay, yes and no. We had Galaxy and Galaxy 2. They were both on the Wii.
Yeah.
Now, this is depending on what they call this thing. If it's like the Switch, new Nintendo Switch or whatever, and it's still like that Switch family, could be an Odyssey 2. But I feel like if it's like a handheld, branded something different, it's a new game.
I think it's going to look and play a lot. It's going to look and play a lot like Odyssey. It's just going to be more fidelity, right? If it's on the Switch 2,
there's probably going to have a new. They will have a new gimmick. That's what they do. But
yeah, well, I'm saying the art style.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the same.
And the performance is going to be very similar. But the fidelity of being on the Switch 2, because it already runs great on the Switch. It's 60 FPS. It runs great. They're just going to add some resolution. They're gonna add some resolution to it. They're gonna add to the textures. But it's gonna look like an Odyssey game. It's gonna feel like an Odyssey game. It's gonna have a new.
Well, it'll be interesting because if you think about this too, that's the beauty about Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then developing games for their systems. They know the parameters they have to work within. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when you get a game like Mario Odyssey, it just runs amazing on the Switch. That's why they know where they're working. So let's say they know that this thing has this much power, it can do this or do that. We could see something crazy in a new Mario. Something, I mean, think about it. If they know what they're working with and they know what they can do, I mean, they may have had ideas for Odyssey that were just crazy. Like, we can't do that. It's going to run like hell. Like, there's no way. I don't know. That's interesting to think about. That's a whole podcast in itself. But the talk about the display. Now, the LCD, Nate's saying that he's heard that too. The LCD is a thing. The 8-inch display, we've already talked about that, but that's where this is coming from. This is also very, very interesting. A fairly significant amount of internal flash memory. 512 gigabytes internal storage.
Well, Drip, you can, for a Switch tablet, you can condense those games down to a significantly smaller margin because of, again, talking about fidelity there, the games don't look that great on the Switch to begin with in terms of serious resolution and stuff. So they can condense it down like a compressed MP3 on a Spotify, whatever. They can take that music and condense it down, and you're not going to lose a whole lot because most people on Spotify are listening on their phone, or most people playing a Switch game. Actually, all of them are playing on a Switch, and it doesn't put that much power out. So you can't see the benefit of having it higher. The games could have been higher and more gigabytes, but the Switch wouldn't have been able to translate those stats via the screen and performance.
Right, but this next console
going to be able to do not going to have that luxury. It's not going to have that luxury of condensing down super far because it doesn't look that great. No, the next console is going to be more powerful, and that means they're going to take advantage of that power, which means you're gonna have bigger games, which means drip. Although I kept saying it like that, but which means drip that
it's this big now. Now it's this. I don't know why, and I don't know what it is, but it's massive. What is it?
Which means that the system needs to have more memory, like significantly more memory.
And
you can't get away from 20. What iPhone had like 16 gigabytes starting? What was it, 32 gigabytes? iPhone 5. That was you can't get away with iPhone 5 storage at this point.
Well, Nintendo's always done this.
Yeah, but you can't. But not with this next system, you're not going to get away.
Yeah,
with this.
Well, even at the 512, I said it in my video today. They're playing ball, but they're at the bottom of the. They're at the very. They've just got in the door to where you need to be with storage.
I disagree. I would say 240 is the bottom.
Okay, for maybe something with the Switch, but
for the Switch.
But I mean, this thing has a terabyte. The PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X has a terabyte. I mean, the S, the cheap model has 512.
Yeah.
So they're playing ball, but they're still behind. They're still behind as far as amount of storage. But as you said, Switch games are small. These are going to be bigger, but they're not going to be 60, 70 gigabytes. They're not.
No, they're going to be like I think like 40
20,
gigabytes.
30.
40 gigabytes for a first party game.
Okay.
That's extensive.
Maybe. That's huge.
Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2 is probably going to be like a 40, 50 gigabyte.
Okay,
game.
what's Tears of the Kingdom now? Like 18?
Like almost
17?
20? Something like that, yeah.
So
I think double. I think you can expect double the game sizes in terms of first party stuff. Maybe a little bit less than double. Yeah, just so they can take advantage of the extra stuff, you know?
Okay, so here's something else, and this is this kind of goes along with this. He's saying that the card format is going to change to a 3D NAND, which I don't know what that is, but it's different than what they're using now.
That
doesn't mean it. Now that does not mean it does not mean it can't be backwards compatible still. You know what I mean? It's just a different type of storage.
Yeah.
Now I didn't listen to the full podcast. I didn't get that far. I saw this and I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I mean, I could go back and listen. I don't know a lot about the way that the cartridges work. I don't know how do they make it fit on there the way they do? I'm not that guy. But
yeah, I'm not that guy either.
I know Nintendo can do it. A lot of third-party companies can do it, but there are certain games. There are certain games like NBA 2K, right? You bought that, right?
Yes, I did.
So, what was the size of? I got one because it was like $5, and I downloaded.
Too many. It's the biggest game on Switch.
60 gigabytes.
It's too many. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, but even when you buy that physical,
it comes with
that's not. You're not getting it on the cartridge because those are expensive. They're very expensive. Yes. So that's whatever this is. My guess is. The reason that
we know what it is. Thank you to Alex for letting us know what it is. It's a 3D NAND is a type of micro SD card storage.
Okay, well that makes a ton of sense. They're probably cheaper than these proprietary Switch cartridges that they're using now, and they're not going to have to. Because that was my worry earlier. Is how are they going to justify these prices? Because they're going to have to use those 64 gigabyte cartridges that nobody wanted to use because they were so expensive. I'm like, every game's going to be 70, which it probably will anyway. I don't know. I think if that is the case and it is some type of micro USB, maybe some hybrid thing, something that they've made themselves, maybe they can get the price down. Maybe they're going to be able to fix this whole issue with the the cartridges that they had in the first place. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah,
I'm glad we know that now. Thanks, Alex.
Not to get off topic, but I do want to. We have our first super chat, so let's go ahead and
wow.
let's get our first super chat here. If you guys want to leave super chats during the live stream, we'll go ahead and read them for you, especially if it pertains to what we're talking about. We have, how do you pronounce this person's name? A. Marcellus. Marcellus. Thank you very Marcellus, for your super chat. Really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Let's look at past history. Switch 1 was announced in October 2016 for a March 2017 release. I think it's happening this time. Nintendo knows they can't hold back anymore. So not really a question there, just, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that whatever the release window is for this thing, it'll be close to that. I don't think they're going to give it a ton of time to just sit and linger. You know what I mean? There's no reason for it. Like, what's the reason? Like, they're going to say, all right, this is what it is. This is when you can get it. It goes on pre-order this time. And what is it? September, October, November, December, January, February, March. What, 6 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what Nintendo does for just about everything. As far as marketing and stuff goes, it's usually around six months.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Going back to the storage thing and the game card thing, changing them is interesting. But I mean, I will say this: as far as backwards compatibility goes, we've seen them change cartridge styles and still make it backwards compatible.
Like, give us an example.
Like, what was it? The DS? Mm-hmm. Is that what it was? The DS? You could play
the DS games were playable.
Advanced game? No, but Game Boy Advance games could be played on the DS too, right?
On DS, they went out of their way and added a second cartridge slot, that fit the old what was the game? The Game Boy Advance, right? So they added a Game Boy Advance cartridge slot onto the DS, which had its own cartridge slot. So there's two slots there, right? So that would be weird if there was two cartridges. In this day and age, I don't think they can do that. I don't think that would be kind of weird. And plus, they've already kind of perfected, in my opinion, like the small cartridge format.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
Any smaller, and it's a seriously dangerous for young kids. Like any smaller than that,
like the size of a micro USB card.
It's seriously dangerous for kids. You literally can't do that. But it's big enough that it's very obvious to see when it's in a kid's mouth. And
they taste terrible.
And they taste terrible. But also, it's small enough that it's not
Have you put one in your mouth?
Hindrance. I have not. I licked one though.
Dude, oh my god, it's so bad, dude. They taste so bad. I mean, but if it is something that they're just like, whatever, let's say it uses that type of technology, that doesn't mean it has to be the size of an SD. It could still fit in the same package and still take the same slot, and the thing just be smart enough to read both, right?
I guess
decently simple thing to do.
The point I was trying to make is that there is no need to innovate the cartridge anymore. It's at the size it needs to be. They could change.
You're saying
they can change the tech and whatnot, but the form factor, there's no need. If they're going on cartridge systems going forward, whether that's home console or Switch hybrid model for that matter, it doesn't matter. That is the perfect cartridge. It's not too small, not too big. It's the perfect cartridge. They can change the tech on the inside. There's no need, right, for the outside to change. So keep the same cartridge slot. The next Switch, if there's a cartridge slot, it'll be the same size as the original Switch, and it should accept the old Switch cartridges. In my mind, that just makes the most sense. Also, by the way, just Marcellus added one more thing onto there, which that was a big super chat, so we'll go ahead and read that as well. Also, rumors are that Nvidia is developing a chip specifically for the next console, which Drip I think is. I thought you were frozen for a second. You were so still.
No, I'm reading that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they're using the Tegra X1 now.
Yeah,
and then they did like an upgrade to it for the. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine whatever they're making is specifically for the Switch, because the Tegra X1 was not specifically for the Switch.
Yeah,
for like self-driving cars or some shit. It was something like, I don't know what it was for. Not the Switch. It wasn't. So yeah, I mean, they were using basically off the shelf parts.
Yeah.
To kind of Frankenstein the Switch together and then make it in a presentable package.
And there was a reason for that, because they were
just
unsure.
it was time to.
They They needed it fast and cheap, and they wanted to.
It needed to be done. It needed to be something that they could test, and and it worked. So now it's time to go back and really work on something special. Yeah, I've heard those rumors. I don't see any reason why that couldn't be the case. It totally could be.
Agreed.
But other than that, man, I mean that's basically all the leaks. Backwards compatibility is the big question still. I mean, that's still the question. That's the one. I don't know when we get that answered, man. I don't know how they answer it until Nintendo answers it themselves. I don't know what you can find out about this thing to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it'd be silly not to include it. There's no way.
I do too.
Nintendo is not going to isolate, or is isolate the wrong word? They're not going to alienate. That's the right word.
Yeah.
All millions and millions of Switch owners out there, they're not going to alienate them and go,
yeah, like, no, we don't want you to, just buy all the. No, you're right.
They have to recognize, they're smart enough to know. They have to recognize that they just made a buttload of money off us, and we're happy customers at the moment.
Yeah.
But you know how to make an unhappy customer? Say, all that money you spent just not too long ago for the Switch OLED that came out, not even 2 years ago at that point?
Yeah, like, hey, we got this cool thing, but you can't play any of those games on it.
Yeah, there's no way they're doing that. There's no way there's a situation either where it's like, oh yeah, you'll be able to play them digitally if you subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online. Because that would imply there's no cartridge slot. And no, there's a cartridge slot in this next thing.
Yeah, it's backwards compatible. That's confirmed in this report that it's.
I'm not even saying that from the report. In my mind,
I think it's backwards compatible too.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. Well, there was something else here too. What were we just talking about? That was in this report, and I wanted to mention it. About the backwards compatibility thing.
Yeah.
They were talking about third-party developers saying that they don't think it should be backwards compatible because because third parties want to resell their games on the new system and not. So that everyone was kind of worried about that. But you have to remember this: that's third-party people talking. That's not Nintendo. They're not going to listen to that. Like, they don't want to do that. Like, think about it. I mean, okay. Let's just think about, this generation, all of the newest generation, PS5, Xbox Series S and X. Mm-hmm. It was literally, I took my PlayStation 4 Pro out of the spot it was in. I plugged my PlayStation 5 into that spot with the same cables that were already there, signed into my account, and that was it. That's all I had to do. Everything was still there. Everything was working the same. I don't see how Nintendo doesn't follow suit with it. I know they go their own way, but I don't see how they don't just follow suit with at least that.
Yeah, I agree.
We got another super chat from Switch Corner.
We do. Switch Corner says, "Spend it wisely. I just can't, or can I just get a good web browser?" What?
On the Switch? Yeah, that would be.
Oh, on the Switch. I'm like
anything,
what?
man.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that's not.
I don't want a web browser. I don't give a crap about a web browser. That's what the computers are for.
Just
phones
apps.
are for.
Like,
apps. Applications.
Make it run apps the way they're supposed to run. Like, 4K or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, make them run the way they're supposed to look.
Perfect example, Drip. Right. So I'm on vacation this past few weeks, and the Switch became my portable media system. Like, my phone is older now, so like I use it for phone things and business things at this point, but not if I don't have to use my phone, I don't. I leave it in the bag and I forget about it. Like, I don't want to use my phone for everything. So when I'm out and about, the Switch is my mobile portable thing. Then we go to a beach house, right? And you go to the beach house at the Airbnb, and what the TV situation there is questionable, but it's not questionable. The Nintendo Switch is in my backpack, and I bring my portable dock with me. So, but I could only watch freaking YouTube. Which I like YouTube
and Hulu.
But I don't watch Hulu. I'm not pulling that. I don't even have that app on my Switch. It's fun, whatever. But as far as like, I want Netflix, Disney. That would have been great just to watch that
nice
on my Switch. But I couldn't do that. I just had to watch YouTube, which first world problems here. But this whole YouTube channel and Switch is all first world problems. So that's a thing. But anyway,
even for that, like, I know this is something. I just want to bring this up really quickly. We're getting deep into this here, but that's another thing too. I know. Everyone's like, oh, that's stupid. Like, a 5G Switch for that reason alone would be awesome.
I don't need that because we're also in a day and age, dude. We're in a day and age where our phones.
But your phone's not 8 inches.
No. Let me finish, Drip. You didn't even hear what I said. Okay, what I was gonna say, Drip,
whatever,
is that we're in a day and age where a lot of data plans are affordable, and not only are they affordable, but you can use Wi-Fi tethering, or you can do tethering, which is free.
Yeah, dude, mine doesn't have that.
Mine has free tethering, and it's just
so weird because I do it for like a second.
It's not more reliable. It's not more reliable than having the bands on the Switch. I agree with that. So if you're somebody who's like on a train all the time and there's no Wi-Fi plane and you need connectivity like that, I get it. But that's just not me. For me personally, I could care less about 5G, but that's just me. Another super chat. Thank you so much, Marcellus, for being very kind.
Thank you so much.
Microsoft has also entered a 10-year commitment with Nintendo for Call of Duty.
True.
Microsoft wouldn't commit unless they knew a powerhouse was coming. That's a very, very good point, Marcellus.
It is, yeah. I mean,
just to kind of add on to we agree.
There has been a little bit of stuff talked about what Call of Duty is going to be coming to the Switch, and I think they have confirmed. I'm not 100%, but it's not going to be Call of Duty Mobile. It is going to be a full Call of Duty. It will be a full Call of Duty experience.
It'll be a full optimized Call of Duty experience, but optimized for the console, which is not going to be, it's going to be more powerful than the Switch, but it's not going to be. It's not going to touch modern stuff.
Like PC or anything, obviously.
No, but it should, textures and stuff will be lesser, but it should be well optimized. It should run well.
Yeah. I'm sure it will.
It should be. It better be better than the way Fortnite runs on the Switch right now. I mean, it's just so bad,
man. I can tell you this: Fortnite runs better on my Steam Deck while I am using xCloud to stream it to my Steam. I'm playing a game online that I'm also streaming from a different server to my Steam Deck. Yeah, and it still runs better than Fortnite on the Switch. It's oh my god, it looks so much better.
I guess what you're not running. I think you're talking about playability. It's more playable.
Everything. Yeah, it looks better. It runs better. Everything is better. Everything's better.
Of course, it's going to look better and run better. It's playing off of a way more powerful hardware. The question is,
still runs.
With that, what you're saying, Drip, is with that internet lag.
It's still
introduced. It's still better, which that's actually surprising because if anybody's played bad internet games, not bad internet games. If you've played like a streaming game and the connection's not good, that's a horrible experience. So like the fact that it's a pretty good connection and it works well and it's better than physical hardware Switch playing on Fortnite, that's saying something.
Well, I mean, I also have good internet, but still,
there's other factors. Yeah,
it does work way better.
Drip. I think it's over, man. Those of you in the stream, we're hanging out. Don't worry. We'll go into the after show. We'll listen to some Zelda lo-fi tunes and talk for you guys a little longer. I appreciate you guys listening to this episode. Those of you listening on the audio platforms, we're going to sign off, and we'll see you guys. Oh, well, before we go, just want to say again, thank you. We're back. We're back, baby. We're doing this. We're every week. We're going to keep going. Drip and I going to keep going. We appreciate you guys. I guess I'll say one more thing.
I have one more thing to say.
Yeah, I'll let you go. If you're not a member yet, become a member. You get extra YouTube content on the YouTube channel. Extra podcast a month. Drip, what do you have to say?
I wanted to remind everybody that I just started a streaming channel, which I will be streaming on this weekend. I will put there'll be a link in this podcast. Geeb, right?
It's not there right now, but I can put that there.
It's not there now, but we'll put it there, and I'll drop it in the chat here in the after show for you guys hanging out. But make sure you subscribe to that. It's what is it? Drip Media Gaming Live, I think is what it's called. Drip MG Live at Drip MG Live is what it is.
Okay, cool, guys. Go follow Drip over there. Drip, you're gonna do some cool stuff over there, guys.
Oh yeah.
Audio people, we're signing off. We'll see you guys next week.